Hi, this is Stacy, and today, again, Practical ESL. I want to show you a clip from a lesson that I did just after school with some kids who had stayed to help me out and also who wanted to learn a little, practice their English a little bit more. So what I did is I took a lesson that I actually have for you on practicalesl.com. And in that lesson, I show you, I just kind of go through the lesson and model for you and kind of talk you through why I did some of the things that I did and hoping that, maybe that will give you some ideas. So I'm going to start at the beginning of the reading portion, the first read. In the video on how to read for the gist, I talk about like a first read and a second read, those kind of things. And in this one, I'm just going to talk about that first read. And then I'm kind of going to walk you through it. So I'll pause every now and then and show you a little bit about what I was talking about. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to show you the beginning portion. And all right. We're going to read our text for the first time. And the first time that we read it, it's going to have pictures. Okay, so I'm going to show you the pictures. But what I want you to do is you each have a second paper. And this paper it has 4 titles. So our text today has no title. What is a title? Yes, okay, it has no title. So we need to choose the best title, okay? So you can look, we have 4 titles. The first one, let's read it together. What is this word? Kroger. Kroger, what is Kroger? That's supermarket. The supermarket, okay? So Kroger and Kutol, okay? That's the first title. Maybe it's this one, okay? Here's the second title. We're gonna read it together. 1, 2, 3. Rebranding wallpaper cleaner. Wallpaper cleaner? Wallpaper cleaner and rebranding? Okay. Okay, here's the third one. It could be this one. 1, 2, 3. Life 100 years ago. 100 years ago. Is it in the future? No. No, it's in the past, okay? And then number 4, 1, 2, 3, the best childhood toy, okay? So it has to be one of these is our title for the text, okay? So let's. All right, I'm going to stop there for just a minute, just to bring attention to a couple things. Number 1, I kind of focused on the one that was wallpaper cleaner because those were vocabulary words. What I should have done is done the motion for wallpaper and then the motion for cleaner. And I think in my mind, that's what I was doing, but that's what you would do. And that's the reason why I stressed it, to remind them that those were vocabulary words that we had talked about. And then just notice I also in the beginning taught them about ago or like used to. And so we talked about the past. And so you just pick your hands up and you refer to the past so that you keep reminding them those things that you covered in the beginning of the lesson. Okay, here we go. Read the text and let's see which one. We're going to read it together. 1, 2, 3. Do you ever wonder what life was like 100 years ago? How did people live? What did they buy? What is buy? Mm-hmm. How did they spend their free time? Did they ride bikes? Okay, I want to stop there again. So once more, if you notice, I'm highlighting each word as we're reading it. And that's really something that I did when I was teaching 2nd grade. I wanted my kids to be able to follow along with those words. And I want my ESL students to do that same thing. And also low readers in my gen ed classroom, because if like kids don't just pick up reading by osmosis, but the more that they see those words and they hear the sound as they're tracking that word, then they're going to start to make connections in their mind. And that's why I do that for them. If I just stand back and I read those things or we read it together, they're kind of just going to follow along with what they hear in the classroom, but they're not associating that with a word that they see. But I want this to also strengthen their reading skills. And I really believe that that's a part of it. Okay, here we go to the next portion. Okay, all right. In the 1930s, many homes were were heated by coal. Show me. By coal. And many people used to cover their walls with beautiful wallpaper. The problem was that coal made the wallpaper black, like this. Do you see it? Black, black, black. And it was very difficult to clean black coal off the wallpaper. Okay?
Okay, if you notice, I'm kind of trying to interact with the text as I'm going through it with them. So I want them not just like, I want them not just to read a word, but I want them to kind of think about, make connections with what they're reading as they're reading. So I'm going to connect it to that picture of the wallpaper that I have. Also, when I go like this, that was the motion that we made for coal when we did that with our vocabulary before this. And so introducing like that vocabulary that we learned and bringing it back into our text as we see it, it's going to be better than just pre-teaching vocabulary and leaving it and not making connections to it again. So those are things that I did. Seems like, oh, and then used to, and I didn't stress the used to, but I did put it in a different color. And I made the hand motions of in the past that I used to do it in the past. Okay, here we go.
So, Kroger. In 1933, Kroger grocery stores looked for a wallpaper cleaner they could sell in their stores. Kroger hired, what's hired? What is it? What's hired? Hired a company named Kuto to make the cleaner. After the customer bought it all, all they had to do was roll it over their dirty walls and the walls would be clean. So they Okay, so for this one, if you notice, I really drew attention to which one was it? The hired. And I showed them the motion, but then I didn't leave it there. I also made them look on their paper and make that connection to what it was, because that was the one that they had the most trouble with, because it wasn't a cognate and they didn't really understand what it was. So I just made sure that they not only saw the motion, but that they also went back to their paper and looked it up. Okay. Take the cleaner, they roll it, and they roll it over the walls, and the walls would be clean. Do you believe it? No. No, it's true. This is a true story. Okay? Okay, but, oh, your face, your face. But by the 1950s, fewer and fewer people used coal to heat their homes. So do you heat your homes with coal? No. Do we heat our homes with our school with coal? No, right? So nobody used it. So they don't need to buy the cleaner, okay? The need for the wallpaper cleaner began to decline. Show me. Decline. Show me. After noticing that small children like to play with the cleaner, it was rebranded when they changed the name, right? And sold as a children's toy. The new name was Play-Doh. And it is still popular among children all over the world, even today. Do you play with Play-Doh in Mexico? Yes. Your sister plays with Play-Doh, right? Can I say, I used to play with Play-Doh. Yeah, no, I did. I love Play-Doh. Even now, I like Play-Doh, okay? Me too. Okay, so, here we go. Which title do you think is the best? You pick with your team. Work together with your partner. Which title do you think is the best?
seconds. 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pick one, circle it. Pick it, circle it. Okay, so this is our text, the same one. So this part, what did you say, Julia? Which one? Read it.
The best
Childhood toy.
toy.
The best childhood toy.
The best childhood toy.
Uh-huh. Okay, which one did you pick? Tell me.
The best instructor
Childhood toy.
toy.
Yes. Okay. Maria, which one did you pick?
Like 100 years.
Life 100 years ago. And Axel, what did you pick?
Life 100 years.
Life 100 years ago. Okay, so as you can see, they didn't all pick the one that I would have wanted them to pick, but they all interacted and they picked one. And then later they were able to tell me why they picked it. And if you watch the next video, it's going to talk about how we were able to teach them about summarizing by using this title. And so we talked about like where the pieces were that they had chosen within the text, and then how that could be a good summary for what the text was about. So I'll show you that in the next one on summaries, but hope that this was helpful for you to see kind of how I would do it. I'm not an expert, but I do have a great time with my students, and I feel like they get really engaged in the learning process. So there you go. If you would like to have a copy of this lesson, you can go to practicalesl.com and then look on the blog page, and it will have that lesson for you. And if you like this and you think it was helpful, please share it with a friend and maybe comment below. Thank you so much.